Okay, Mike Masato, CEO of Staff Driven Dental and the Dental Road Warrior, returning for episode 98 in the series. Okay, 98 episodes in, I'm sure from time to time there's a little overlap. I haven't gone back to listen to every single episode, but from time to time I'm sure there is overlap of some subject matter here and there, but you know, sometimes it bears repeating. So docs, let me give you a little scenario that you encounter from time to time in your practice that probably drives you nuts, right? When you're making treatment recommendations to a patient, and a patient in a chair, and you're recommending what's best for them, and obviously you know what's best for them because you are the doctor, and a patient is giving you pushback and suggesting that they try some alternative treatment on you. Maybe something they heard about from reading something somewhere on the internet, the famous place people go for dental knowledge, because we know, of course, everything on the internet is correct and accurate, of course. But anyway, they come to you and they make alternate clinical suggestions, or they're wheeling and dealing with you on how treatment's done when you know what's optimum and best for them. Drives you crazy, right? So there's that scenario. You know, or you ever have this scenario? I mean, if this hypothetically happened, what would you say in this particular scenario? If you were presenting patient treatment in the chair, and the patient turned to you and said, "Doc, you know what? I really need this treatment. It sounds really great, and I understand what you're talking about, but before I embark on it and invest the money, I'm going to try some dentistry on my own myself, and we'll see where it goes from there." Right? You look at him like he's insane, right? If the person said to you, they're going to do home dentistry, you know, do-it-yourself dentistry, right? That would be crazy. It's like when people go out of the country and get budget discount dentistry, and they come back with stuff in their mouth and go, "Where the heck did you get this, you know, dentistry done?" Which is to save a few bucks, right? And in those scenarios, you know, if they happened or have happened, it drives you insane. And ultimately, if you heard about a dentist in town who was doing dentistry on people and found out that actually they never really went to dental school, they haven't passed their boards, and they're just trying dentistry, some trial and error dentistry on people. They put a shingle out and they're trying trial and error dentistry out on patients. I would hope you report that person to the board, you know, and the authorities, right? Because it would be dangerous and for patients, and obviously unethical, and create a lot of problems for a lot of people. So I use these scenarios as a setup to what I'm saying. So knowing all that, why would you attempt to do what I call do-it-yourself practice management? You know, I mean, it's like this comes up from a lot when confronted with the idea of coaching and practice management. Docs obviously know they need the help in practice. They know they're struggling, they're having a hard time, but because of the price tag, or the time commitment, or the need now to look at themselves, to confront themselves, and to give up some control of their practice and bring someone in who's going to assess and evaluate and support them, and maybe they'll find something out they don't want to find out, or they're going to have to be accountable now. Like, they have to stop complaining and they have to do something about it. Come up with this idea that we shouldn't push forward, because you know what? I can try suddenly to do practice management on my own. Now, think about, for me, as a person think about how your craft, how long it took you to become great at what you do clinically. It was how many years of postgraduate education, not to mention time in clinic, not to mention if you did a residency, not to mention how much ongoing continual education you did to become masterful at what you do. And it's always a learning process, right? It took you many, many years to get to the point of how good you are today, not to mention all the things you've added to your bag of tricks, so to speak, of how to deliver amazing dentistry in whatever form it takes, whether it's cosmetic, restorative, whatever. It's a lot of time, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of commitment and dedication and study to get to that point. It's a lot of life experience, right? Working on patients. That's why they call it practicing dentistry, right? You got better and better as the years went on. Well, when I do what I do, I've been at this for probably almost 25 years now, right? And it's a lot to get to the point where I am right now with my coaches, to really master the art. There is an art and science to coaching. There is an art and science to practice management. This is not something you should be dabbling in, or trial and error, doing things with trial and error. And if you could invent this stuff up off the top of your head, why didn't you do that with dentistry? You know, if you had the idea you needed to be, I wanted to become a dentist, why not just look it up on the internet and try to figure it out on your own? You would never do that, even if you could, even if it was legal to do that, right? You wouldn't do that, because it would be a liability, and it wouldn't turn out too well. Just like you can't take an implant course for a day or a correspondence course for implants, or read something on the internet, download something, and all of a sudden you can become an expert on implants. You have to put the time and the money and the work in to gain the benefit and the knowledge of this. Well, it's the same thing with practice coaching. There is no quick fix. There is no such thing as do-it-yourself practice. Well, you can try, right? And just because someone comes into your life, maybe gives you an epiphany, like, oh wow, I need this wake-up call. Think about this. How are you really going to do this yourself? Are you really going to take the time on top of everything else you're doing to quote unquote go back to school on your own and figure this stuff out? Because conceptually you've always known what needs to improve and change, but if you could have done it, if you knew the how-to, you would have done it already by now, right? So the thing is, you need to get off this idea if you're thinking about this. If you're considering practice management, you've been hearing people like me, you're talking to somebody about this, or considering the idea of bringing somebody in, because I hear through the grapevine many times from many sources that such and such is considering bringing in a coach or bringing in a consultant. I understand there's a lot of fears of the uncertainty and the unknown. It's no different than when you embarked on your clinical career of going into dentistry. There was no assurances it was going to work, or you were going to be successful, or you were going to pass your classes, and become a dentist and get a degree and get a license and be successful in practice. There was no guarantees of that, right? I mean, but I know for what I do, there's a guarantee. Like, I put a guarantee in everything that I do, and I make sure that this learning, the stuff that you learn, translates into dollars and cents. Because I've said it time and time again, the bottom line is the bottom line in practice. Right? And you're not going to achieve your optimal financial state without bringing someone in at some point. I don't care how good you are. All the best of the best doctors, athletes, other professionals in life have had coaching to one degree or another. I've had a mentor myself, on and off over the years. I didn't come out of the box this way. It's a lot of work to get to this point, not just on my own, but just having someone from the outside looking in. It's been invaluable to untap the best that I possibly can be. And now I share this and this knowledge and this training and these insights with my clients. And when people always ask me, how do you know this? Why? They're really amazed. But the insights is because it's life experience. It's been through coaching. That's how I've learned it. I didn't just pull this out of the air. I didn't just randomly research this stuff on the internet. I've gotten coaching in my life that's helped me get to the point so I can now help others. Just like you do with your dentistry every single day. You got a lot of coaching and training and education to get to the point where you are. When it comes to the point when you have the realization you need help, don't dabble in it. Get some professional help to come into your practice and do it the right way. Because do-it-yourself practice management never works. I'll use an example for some of you that are watching this, because many doctors are really good with their hands. They love home projects and doing stuff. That's not me. I didn't get that gene in my family about fixing things. So I've known better not to try it on my own, right? Because you ever have something around the house that needed a professional to fix it, and you try doing it yourself? What happened, right? It ended up being costing a lot more money in the long run, didn't it? Because we fiddled around with it, we messed around with it, and we thought we were going to save some money, and at the end of the day, it didn't save us any money. It cost us more money and time and aggravation, because we probably should have brought someone in and just did it. Practice management's the same way. And I'm not saying there's not a lot of bad practice management out there. There unfortunately, in any field, there's good and bad. I can tell you from personal experience, I've undone a lot of disasters in my time going into practices hands-on and seeing what's been done there, and I shake my head. But you know what? That's the past. I can't go back in the past and fix it. But I can come into a practice with my team and show the correct path to get on, and do it in a way so you don't have to try to muddle through and do it yourself. And if you had a bad experience, just like with patients, if a patient had a bad experience with dentistry that you've encountered, because a lot of patients come to you and you're not the first dentist they've been to, if that's happened, what do you say? Just give up on dentistry? I had a bad experience, didn't go well? No, of course not. You encourage them to say, look, you've got to find one of the good ones, and hopefully you are, right? You found the right place. You're in the right place right now. Same thing with this. You may have had a bad experience. You may have gone down a wrong road, or wasted some time and money, and got screwed over in some way. It's unfortunate. I've seen that a lot, right? But there are good ones out there, and I'm consider myself one of them. Go online, look up staff-driven dental. Go online, look at Dental Coaching on Demand.com. There are a lot of great reviews, and I'm very, very proud of that. I worked very hard to get to that point because, as I said before, we do what we do professionally, and we guarantee a result. That's the kind of people you want in your life. You don't want to be messing around when it comes to your livelihood like this. and roll the dice and let's see what happens. And obviously sometimes it takes a certain kind of person for your team to listen to. Like we may come say the same thing you guys you've been saying for a long time, but we say it in a different way and bring it to the table in a different way, so they will embrace it and they will implement this change in the practice to take you to the next level. That's kind of what you need, and that's what will get you where you need to be. Right? And again, not on your own, and adding to, because many of you have said before, if you would have done it, if you really needed to get done, you would have done it yourself. If you could have done it yourself, you would have done it already. Right? I bring these words to you only because this is something I hear from time to time and hear a lot of, and I get frustrated, and I want you guys to have the best practice in life possible. All right? So seek us out. We're here to help. Thanks for watching. If you're enjoying watching these videos, please share with others, and I'll be back with another episode in my continuing series soon.